The Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6 is right around the corner. I mean, here we are in May. We're expecting it to launch in July, and some of the latest rumors are a little concerning whenever it comes to the phone, and that's what I want to talk about in this video, because if you thought that they were going to make big changes from the Z Fold 5, we may not see that, and that's what I want to talk about in this video. But before we get into that, I do want to say if this is your first time stopping by the channel, thanks for being here. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. Now let's talk about the Z Fold 6. So the Z Fold 6 will be the successor to the Z Fold 5. Z Fold 5, fantastic. I really enjoy it. But of course, we didn't really see a whole lot of major changes in the Z Fold 5, just like we didn't with the 4, just like we haven't with the 3. Samsung seems very settled in on this design, which some people like and some people really hate, which is one of the reasons why the OnePlus Open was so successful this last year, because we finally got some decent competition in the States. We got a nice big screen, we got a big bright screen, we got some really cool innovative stuff, and then you've got the same old, same old. Well, when it comes to the Z Fold 6, there's a couple of different things. One, I've seen a lot of rumors pointing to that we're going to get a thinner, a little bit wider screen that, well, might extend it a little bit more, but it doesn't look like it's going to be anything crazy substantial. So if you're sitting back thinking, okay, they learned by looking at the Pixel Fold that people really like the front screen. They learned from the OnePlus Open, they really like the big front screen. Samsung seems like they're still doubling down on a more narrow, not so big front screen experience. And, well, I think that might hurt them this year, because clearly the market has pointed to people want to have a bigger front screen. Look at the Google Pixel Fold and then look at the screen on the Galaxy Z Fold 5. There's a tremendous difference here. This one looks like a very nice usable screen. This one looks like a candy bar. And it's funny because we call normal phones like candy bar slab phones. This one really is probably not even as wide as a Nestle Crunch Bar. Maybe I should actually measure that sometime. So I don't mind too much, because I really like using the interior screen. And it's funny because if you take a look at Samsung's marketing promotional materials, they refer to the interior screen as the main screen. They really want the focus and the emphasis to be on the screen on the inside, which makes sense. Why are you going to spend $1,800 on a phone to just use the front screen? Or conversely, one of the complaints I had about the Pixel Fold was that the front screen was so nice and so big that I didn't really feel the need to open it up very much. So if you're like, okay, we got to find some common ground here. We got to find a middle point, a common denominator. This might be a little too big for a front screen. This obviously is a little bit too small. So from what I'm seeing in the renders or the leaks that we've got, that I've seen on the news, well, if you take a look at the internet anyway, I don't really guess it's news, but the tech community, it looks like they're going to make it a little thinner. They're going to make the bezels a little bit smaller. So if you can make those bezels a little bit smaller, you get more screen space without actually having to change it too much physically. And then it looks like they might make it a little bit wider. I think that'll make some people happy, but we already had that. Basically, they made the last one like a millimeter wider, like a millimeter shorter, but there's no huge tangible difference there. Still, people are complaining, this just isn't cutting it, this isn't good enough, and I think you might still find some level of disappointment when we take a look at the Z Fold 6 whenever it gets here. Now, what makes me more upset is something I've seen about the camera. So, the cameras in here were the exact same cameras as last year, and if I remember correctly, I think they're the same cameras from the year before. It's the S22 cameras, which are fine. Like, the S22 had pretty decent cameras, but you have to look at it and go, okay, then we got the S23, we're on the S24 now, this is the Z Fold 6. So for basically like 3 years, we've been rocking the same cameras, and from what I was seeing the other day, it looks like they might still keep the same cameras. So if they keep the same cameras yet again for the Z Fold 6, that is going to be a massive failure, and I'll probably make another video talking about it, which will continue to get me not invited to their events, but it's one of those things where if you're going to charge $1,800 for a phone, I argue it should have the best of the best. Now, I know there's limitations when you have a phone that does this. Like when you have a phone that opens up like this, you're basically splitting it in half. You've got the foldable screen, you've got narrow room for components because you have these two sides that are this big, instead of, say, the S24 Ultra, which, let me grab it, is this big. So when you take a look, I'm trying to break my phone in half here. When you take a look at one half or one side of the Z Fold 5 and then one side, or the whole body of the S24 Ultra, there's a tremendous bigger, more amount of room to put stuff in there. So it allows you to have more depth for the cameras. That's one of the reasons why we haven't seen a super deep camera. When you take a look at the telescopic telephoto camera on this one, it has some depth in it. You can see it's like, wow, this is a pretty sophisticated camera. It's not just a really shallow surface sensor with a camera lens on it. So you need some depth. And that's one thing that prevents them from doing that. And then on top of that, if they put 3 brand new cameras in each time, then it's going to cost them more money. It's going to cut into their overhead, their profit margin. So they're clearly not going to do that. They like to try and find a balance between how can we improve what we have here over last year, but also not have to reinvent the wheel and spend a ton of money. And they do that by reusing the same cameras. And we've seen that in a lot of other phones before. The Pixel 3 camera was used for like 3 or 4 years. And very, very good camera. And all they did was they just continually optimized it and made it better by making improvements to the image signal processor and by making improvements to the computational photography and taking advantage of their AI prowess and what they could do with the chip. Well, Samsung is getting pretty good at that. And we've got the 200 megapixel camera over here on the S24 Ultra. They've got the new 5x telescopic telephoto, which takes pretty good photos as well. And then they've got all that other stuff going for it. So they've got some crazy camera stuff. But it's funny though, because even though you look at those numbers, you go, wow, it's got a 3x, a 5x, it's got the 200 megapixel camera. And then you look at the DxOMark score, and they're actually way, way, way down the list compared to the Pixel and the iPhone. So it's not necessarily numbers. And Samsung has tried to win people over with that numbers game for a long time. They were the first one in the States to go to the 108 megapixel. And then they went to the 200 megapixel. Like, who knows, next year, maybe we'll get a 500 megapixel. All those big megapixel sensors, that just means you can shove more pixels into the same space, which at a normal size photo, it's going to be perfectly fine. But when you want to blow it up to a larger image, that's where it matters, right? So if you have a 5 megapixel camera with a really good sensor on your phone, it's still going to look amazing. But if you try and look at it on a computer monitor, if you try and print out a picture, then you're going to have those limitations because, like, let's say an 8 megapixel camera can only print out a lossless photo at maybe 8x10. So if you want to print out like a really big one, having all those extra megapixels that you can shove in there really makes it to where you can get that lifelike image larger. And also, I guess it sounds cool. I don't know. There's other stuff to it. I'm not the most educated person when it comes to that. I use these cameras. I know quite a bit, but megapixels is not everything. So when you take a look at what they're doing with the Z Fold 5 and what presumably they're going to do with the Z Fold 6, based off the latest things that we've been seeing, which I hope I'm wrong. I really hope that they give us some sort of better camera, but we're not going to get the 200 megapixel camera. Like, if we do, that would be a huge, huge surprise, but I don't think we need it. But I don't think they're going to go reinvent the wheel. Now, maybe if they could get the 108 megapixel that we had before, that might be an update. But I think they need to update the cameras because we've been riding with the same ones for a couple of years. After a couple of years, it gets really optimized, and then you really can't go any further with it. They've done everything they can do with that camera. They've done everything they can do with that sensor. And even with the computational photography, there's only so far it'll go. So I think we need better cameras. I think the cameras are good. They're serviceable on the Z Fold 5, but again, it's getting kind of tired. We need new sensors. So if I'm going to spend $1,800 on a phone, that irks me as a consumer. So it doesn't sound, based off of the preliminary stuff we're seeing. We've seen a lot of leaks. We've seen a lot of rumors. We know it's going to be here very, very soon. And I believe the event's supposed to be happening in Paris this year because Samsung is a big sponsor for the Olympics. The Olympics are happening in Paris. So it looks like we're going to have the event there, and they're going to have the event probably earlier this year. I think it was at the end of July last go around. I think we might be looking at like the second week of July. So expect more information to be coming out very, very soon, fast and furious. Next couple of weeks, I fully expect to see some leaked images. I expect to see a full spec list, and then we'll have more to discuss. But based off of what I'm seeing and hearing so far, it looks like they're not making a whole lot of fundamental changes. Now, what I hope they do, one of the biggest changes I hope that they make is putting a digitizer in the front screen so that way you can use the S Pen with the front screen. One thing is having a small screen, but then it's like use your finger, you cover up like half the screen. Being able to use the S Pen on the front screen and then on the interior screen, I think would be a big win. I don't know why they haven't done that so far other than it just costs them more money. They need to do that. That would be a substantial upgrade. And then two, I think they need to find a way to put the S Pen internally. I'm getting really tired. You got to buy a case that holds the S Pen. You got to buy the S Pen. It doesn't come with it. And then it doesn't have any of the smart features or gestures. It's a dumb S Pen. It doesn't do any of the stuff that the S Pen that you do with the S24 gets, or the S23, or the former Note series. I really feel like they need to make a smart S Pen that you can use the button as a remote shutter, that you can use the air gestures, you can do some other cool stuff. So I think they need to do that. I think they need to make S Pen improvements. They need to allow you to use the S Pen on the front screen. It needs to have a slot inside the phone for the S Pen to go into. It's kind of half and half right now. I've seen stuff that says, "Oh yeah, they're gonna put it in there this year," but then I see other stuff that say there's not really a whole lot of change. And we've expected this for a couple of years. And Samsung is really bad about this. They read too much in the Apple playbook and they slow play us, and they drag these things out. So for them, it's like, okay, maybe we'll make them wait 4 years so they can use the S Pen on the front screen. Maybe we'll make them wait 4 years to get a new camera. Maybe we'll make them wait 5 years before they have a meaningful front size screen that makes people happy. They do a little bit of change here. Oh, we shaved off a millimeter. Oh, we shaved off 4 grams. Oh, we made the crease a little bit less noticeable, even though it's still fairly noticeable. Very, very little changes they make here. So I'm hoping that we see some substantial stuff, but really, even at this point late in the game, I don't think that there's going to be too much of substantial change. I mean, it's going to have the Snapdragon 8 Generation 3, and Samsung seems to think that people really care about this AI stuff, especially since the S24 sales were much larger this year. But the thing is it wasn't the AI. It was the Snapdragon 8 Generation 3, plus the AI, plus the flat screen, plus the titanium, plus the anti-reflective screen. There were so many changes that they made that people have been asking for a long time with the S24, so that's why it translated to more sales. It wasn't because of AI. AI is just a kicker, and also, are we going to get 7 years of support? It would be really interesting because I don't think they've tested any of these phones with the crease to actually last that long. So it'll be interesting what kind of a policy we have with this, because one of the great things with the S24 series, they gave us a 7-year warranty. Not warranty, but 7 years of support. 7 years of operating system updates, 7 years of security patches. Sorry, I kept saying warranty, but my brain just fixated on that. Can we even do that? None of the phones that they've tested or have rated or certified with the foldables will last that long. So it'll be interesting to see how they tackle that, because it'll be really interesting if you have the S24 series, 7 years of support, and then they still give you like 3 years, 4 years, whatever, with the foldable phone. So a lot of stuff is still up in the air. A lot of question marks, a lot of concerns, but as we're getting closer, more things are getting dialed in. A lot of the voices kind of simmer down and solidify a few things. Yes, there are going to be some changes to the front screen. How significant? We got to wait and see. To the cameras, that's my biggest thing, and I will come out and lambast them if they use the same cameras again, because it's total BS to keep selling an $1,800 phone and giving us the same stuff over and over and over. So that's all I've got in this video. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, please go to the comment section if you want to talk about it. Are you excited about the Z Fold 6? Is it something that you're interested in? Is it something you've been waiting on? Do you like foldable phones? Sound off in the comments. We'll talk about it. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.